Okay, today we're going to talk about solving quadratics by factoring. Okay, so we're going to put the equation in standard form. And that's what the form should be even when we factored last week in the previous test. And set it equal to 0. We are going to factor the equation. We're going to set each factor equal to 0, solve for x, and then write the solution set in here. Answers are called solutions, roots, zeros, or x-intercepts. Okay, if we look at this one here, we can look and we know that here is a solution, here is a solution. So they are two real solutions. The solutions represent where the parabola crosses the x-axis. Okay? So, in this case, we have x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay? So, if you go over here and you do your x factor, a times c, 1 times 10, negative 10 is negative 10, and then negative 3x is b. So we know 5 and 2 will multiply to give me 10. 5 times 2 plus 2 will give me 3, but the 5 needs to be negative. Okay? So then, hopefully by now, you realize when your a is 1, you can just say x times x, and then plug in these factors. So negative 5 and positive 2. So that is step 2, factor the quadratics. Now we're going to set each factor equal to 0. So here's one factor, two factors. So we're going to have x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. So we're going to add 5 to both sides. And then x is going to equal 5. We're going to subtract 2. X equals negative 2. Okay, so here you can see negative 2, positive 5 are our solutions. So then we're going to write it in the solution set, negative 2, comma 5. Okay, if we look over here, we know that this solution is going to be 4. Okay, so the graph, sometimes it's easy to find. But we want to factor again, so we're going to do our x method. 1 times 16 is 16, negative 8. Okay, so what are the factors there? Negative 4 and negative 4. So that tells me x minus 4 times x minus 4. That's the same. Okay, so if I set each factor equal to 0, I'm going to get the same answer. I add 4 to both sides, I get x equals 4. If I did the same thing, I would get x equals 4. Okay, so my solution here is only 4. Okay, so the solutions represents where the parabola crosses the x-axis. Okay, so let's go down and look here at these problems. Okay, in this first problem, if we do our a times c, and our b, so we get 2 and 3. So we get x plus 2, x plus 3 equals 0. So we set the first factor equal to 0, and we set the second factor equal to 0. Solve for x. Now you might notice a pattern. When x is 1, it's just the opposite. When the coefficient's 1. So x equals negative 3. So our solution here is x equals negative 3, negative 2. Alright, so if I were to graph this, it would cross the x-axis at negative 3, negative 2. And we will start graphing in the next part of this unit. Alright, here we do our x factor. We have 4 and 5. So that's going to give me 4 and 1. So x plus 4, x plus 1 equals 0. So again, if we think about it, they just come out opposite. So x equals negative 4 and negative 1. Okay? All right, let's go down and look at this next one. Okay, those were set equal to 0. This one's not equal to 0, so I need to add 9 to both sides. So I get 3x squared plus 12x plus 9 equals 0. Okay, when I factor, the first thing I check for is a GCF. So I can take out a 3, and I get x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so this 3 we'll deal with in a few minutes. We'll leave it over here. This here, a times c, 1 times 3 is 3, and 4. So we get 3 times 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. So that's going to give me x plus 3, x plus 1 equals 0. All right, so this 3, if I brought it on down, because I don't want to forget my GCF, if I set each factor, there's 1, 2, 3 factors equal to 0. Does 3 equal 0? No, so I can throw that away. And then x plus 3 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 3 and get x equals negative 3. And then x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1, x equals negative 1. So my final answer I'm going to put in my solution set is negative 3, negative 1. I can plug these back in and check them. I can also go to Desmos or my graphing calculator and see if the graph crosses at negative 3, negative 1. All right, set this one equal to 0, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So I get 2m squared minus 12m plus 18 equals 0. Again, I have a GCF of 2. That leaves me m squared minus 6m plus 9 equals 0. All right, do my x factor. 1 times 9 is 9. Negative 6, so that's going to be negative 3 and negative 3. So I have 2 times m minus 3, m minus 3 equals 0. All right, can 2 equal 0? No. These two are the same, so I only have to set one of them because they're going to give me the same answer. So m equals 3. Okay, moving on down. So hopefully this is making sense because it's just adding one step. You know how to factor, so we're just equaling to 0, solving, and you know how to solve an equation. All right, so here I need to move this 29v, set it equal to 0. So I get 5v squared plus 29v minus 6 equals 0. Oh, Miss Lewis, this doesn't have an a of 1. No. So we're going to come over here. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. And then my b is positive 29. So the factors are 30 and 1, and 1 needs to be negative. 30 times negative 1 is negative 30. 30 minus 1 is positive 29. All right, so then if you remember, you're going to bring the first term down. You're going to put these two to replace this one. It's going to break it up into 2, so that's going to be plus 30v minus v minus 6 equals 0. We have 4 terms, so we're going to group. Put a plus in between. GCF here is 5v. That leaves me v plus 6. Here's negative 1, and that leaves me v plus 6 equals 0. Again, we're going to underline, bring that down, mark it out. 5v minus 1 equals 0. Now we have this equation, so we're solving. So you don't stop here just to factor. So we're going to put each term equal to 0. All these factors equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 6, v equals negative 6. add 1. 5v equals 1. Now see, this one opposite, but I still got a 5, so I have to finish. So be careful, they're not always just opposite. 1/5, so v equals -6 and 1/5. Okay, last one. Okay, so here we need, we have 2 we have to move. How not nice of them. So we're going to subtract 5x. So that's going to give me 2x squared minus 9x equals -7. Still don't have it equal to 0, so I'm going to add 7. So I get 2x squared minus 9x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, so we're going to come over here and we're going to say, a times c, 14, -9. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 plus 2 is 9, but they both need to be negative. Alright, so I bring down my first term. I split the second terms and make 2. Remember, these 2 make the 9. So -7, that's there, plus 7 equals 0. I group plus group. Alright, what can I take out of here? I can take out an x. Let me move down a little bit. And I get 2x minus 7. Here, just a -1. And I get 2x minus 7. Remember, your parentheses should look the same or you did something wrong. So I get 2x minus 7. Cross them out. And x minus 1 equals 0. Set both factors equal to 0. Add 7. Add 7. And again, in this case, I have to divide by 2. So x equals 7/2. Add 1. Add 1. X equals 1. So x is going to equal 1 7/2. Alright, so this is solving by factoring. Please ask questions if you have questions and check plan book.